Okay, welcome to IFA online grappling class, Jiu-Jitsu class. We're going to start with some. You always warm up. The nice thing is everything we're going to do today, you don't even really need a mat. If you have a soft carpet, of course, or some kind of matting, it's nice. But you should be able to do it just fine. If you do have something smooth, you can move on. Some of you actually have home use mats. You can do, shrimping and other things, and that's great. But if you don't have a mat, you can move on. If your carpet allows it, of course, do it. But otherwise, you can do stationary drills, which don't require sliding and a lot of friction, so you won't, scrape up your elbows or your back or whatever. So we always warm up. We're going to start with our open guard and then some movement. So, you take your time on each of these. I'm going to just kind of move through them to remind you of them, which is, rotating the legs here, what we call windmills or egg beaters, and then reversing it. This is great for not just the knees, but your hips get a little bit as well. You can kind of do a little bit of side to side. And then bicycles, very important. And then backing it up. You can count it off and make sure you get 20 or so of each one, 20 or 30. Feet on the floor. Now you're twisting your back. Sometimes you get a little pop in the lower back, which is always nice. And then you can start to stretch your hip, crossing your leg over and pulling it. I like to pull my toes back so that it takes tension off my knee, because it tightens all this up and stabilizes your knee. And I pull it toward me like this. If I lean my right knee a little bit from my point of view, to 11 o'clock, it's a different stretch versus vertical. And if I go to 1 o'clock, again, different stretch. So here it's different, here it's different, and here it's different. You feel different parts of your hip getting stretched. So I highly encourage you to vary the angle. All right, and then of course you switch legs. Again, I pull my toes back, reach through, pull my knee in, and then once I've got enough of this one, I go over here a little while, go over here a while. If you have a wall, you can always put your foot up on the wall and do it as well. And then you don't have to pull with your hands. You can just sort of rest there and let it be a passive stretch. And now we start doing this rocking motion with the guard, where I actually even rotate and start moving, and I start coming up. Coming up, you can even reach and come forward. Coming up. Now I imagine I just swept him. I come up, knee comes forward, passing the guard, sliding through the modified scarf, stepping over to north and south, then post the arm, post the leg, sit through, and then you have guard other direction. You keep going back and forth. From here, come up, kneel and post, driving forward, hand and foot, slide through, step over. I'll have north and south. His head is here, his legs are there. And then from here, post, post, sit. One variation is to do it this way. Come up, pass, sit through, here, shoulder roll, and then you're back to guard again. Because then you can start doing shoulder rolls and touches. Just do it open and free. Just kind of moving around, coming up, forward shoulder roll. Watch out for the couch and the coffee table if you're doing it in the living room. All right, and now we go back to open guard. And it's triangle, left and right. Now you start to feel that in your abs. And then you bring it in. And then it's going to be like this. You're going to start doing the mechanics of certain sweeps, like your rocking chair sweep, where you're here and you bring your legs over and you come up. So there's a rotary motion with my legs. See this? You can get this going. All right? Rocking, then here, there, and we're up. That's really a good ab workout too. You could have a partner, and here's what I'm going to recommend. I have grappling dummies because I'm here at the gym, but you at home might have a couch cushion or 2 bed pillows. You could take 2 pillows and put a belt around the middle to make it extra thick. And that becomes the torso of your grappling dummy And that's all you need is a torso. If you don't have a torso, you can use a medicine ball or a soccer ball, some kind of ball, basketball. But like I said, pillows work great. Denser ones are better, so if you had something like a couch pillow or a cushion, and if you could put two of them together, or one thick one is great. Body pillow, those are good too. Some people sleep with a body pillow, which is longer. So I'm gonna forego using the wrestling dummy as a partner because you don't have one necessarily at home. Some of you actually I know do have one, and you're certainly welcome to use that with this. But for top control, that's all you're gonna need is to use this. So before we get into top control though, that just sort of prefaces what we're gonna be doing with a imaginary partner. From the guard, I'm here, I go feet to the mat, hips out, sweep, mount, right? And then I'm back again, close guard, change your grip. Be aware of where you're grabbing. I'm grabbing the head and his left arm at the elbow or at the wrist, but grab them like you really have them. Feet on the floor, hips out, knee across, pull, kick, come up to mount. All right. Then from there, you can punch, 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 pin the hand, come under, and you've got this, and you got this, and you can Americana, punch, 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 pin the arm, come under his arm, grab your wrist, Americana. He turns, posted mount. All right, turn the rest of the way, back mount, roll, you uncross the ankles, of course. You've got rear naked choke, let that out, move his head out, cross arm lock. So you can go through those motions and practice them, get to where you can feel it. You actually have the memory. You're encoding a deeper memory of how to replicate it by training it with just your body without an opponent. All right, so doing that whole thing again. I'm here, guard, feet to the mat, hips out, knee across, pull, scissor sweep, mount, hit, pin the right hand with your right, come under his arm, over your wrist, Americana. He might save the arm, pull it across, you wrap it, post him out. I'm turning him facing this way. Then I pull him into back mount, rear naked choke. I'm hooking now. I come back under this arm, I push the head, move my hips out, and I've rotated my body to where I can step my leg over his head, and then I've got his arm. All right? So you're working technical combinations from the guard without even a real opponent in your guard. So do that back and forth, left and right. And you're learning to string things together, and you just start to feel good. I'm feeling nice and warmed up now. Okay, so now, top control. I've got this kicking shield. Like I said, you can use a cushion or a pillow, or a fellow shut-in. If you have a willing participant, you get your significant other. You can, anybody who's on hand. All right, so now from here, I'm gonna start with, we're gonna do what ends up being a pretty detailed top control series. A whole sequence, starting with side control A. I'll do this slowly. His head is over here, and then I sit out, modified scarf, lifting up on the arm. Then I come back to side control A. He's trying to do in the elbow escape. Arm across, side B. What I like to do sometimes, I'll disengage this knee and drop my hip. This knee stays at the hip, at his hip. But the other leg drops and puts more weight on his chest, sort of crowds his face and head area, and he can't move. I'm blocking that hip. Then I come back to side B, to side C, or no, from side B first, I now sit out to reverse scarf. That's the position, the scarf that connects to side B. So we do that. Then we come back to B. Then we go side C, which is 100 kilos. We sprawl, putting all the weight right there. Don't waste that weight, putting it on your knees, put it on his chest and on your feet, on your toes. We're back again. Knees close, and then I go arms across, hugging this arm. Come back again to side B. Sprawl, north and south. Side B, other side. And then we reverse. We repeat the whole thing all over again on the other side. So now on this side, I'll go to side A, modified scarf. Back to side A, side B, reverse scarf. Back to side B, side C, sprawl. Back in again. Then side B, arms across, hugging, trapping his head between your knee and elbow. Then I go side B, to reverse scarf. So I went back to side B, go to reverse scarf. Then I pull on the far knee. Always visualize things that are there. Pull the knee, step over, transfer your weight. Now it's mount maintenance and transitions. So from here, I have mount. I go hand on him or on the floor. Come out to knee on stomach and back. When I go back, by the way, I get low, cross face, underhook. Walk this up. Pushes his head that way, and then set your knee across back to here. Same thing other side. Knee on stomach, low, walk it, underhook, cross face. Setting back to mount. Then I bail out again, and then from here, hands on him. 1, around the head. 2, hold the head and arm. Sprawl. 1, 2, hold the head and arm. Near arm, cupping the head. Then back to mount. He turns on his side. I go hands on the floor, slide up to posted mount. I'm back. Hands on the floor. He turns on his side actually. Slide up to posted mount. You would be wrapping his arm. Go through those motions. Wrap his arm around his neck. You can hit from there, you can push on the elbow. Then, once I've done the second one, I'm gonna pull him in to my back mount. And if I bring up the pad a little bit, I can use it as a neck to choke. This is good because it compresses a little bit. And I squeeze. All right? Down far enough, you can also change to triangle back mount, which makes the guy suffer. All right? He can't breathe, and I pull, arches back. Some people tap from this. All right? Then from here, he's sliding off. He's escaping. So what I do is I reach under the arm, grab the neck. See how my feet were? They switch. My legs switch. So we're now hips first to mount. Then he's attacking my mount, and I bail out, knee, back, hips forward to side B. Which now reminds me, there's one more bailout from mount I didn't cover. So earlier, when we were here, stepping over to mount, in addition to knee on stomach, and in addition to posted mount, which in and of themselves are great drills just to do over and over again. Mount, posted mount, mount, posted mount, mount, knee on stomach, mount, knee on stomach. You should do that. You can spend 15 minutes just doing that and your grappling gets better. But in addition, I do hips forward, kick the leg out, bail out to side B, then reverse scarf, step over. Hips forward, bail out to side B as I rotate. My weight is on my pelvis, on his stomach. Hold him down. My legs circle out of his reach because he's trying to trap me in half guard. And end up with side control. Now, we're gonna do a whole sequence. So do that whole top control series. Rewind the video, go back through the whole thing. Follow along. You can even set your phone up, prop it up, and watch as I'm doing it. And then replicate it. Or if you're playing on a computer screen, you can see it from further away. Then I'm going to do, from top control, I go like this. Side control A. All right? modified scarf. Side A. Side B, we're jumping right ahead. North and south, come up, trap the arm. This is sequence number 1, technical sequence. Trap the arm, pull it tight to your chest. His arm's coming through here. Grab the wrist, grab your wrist, pull it up with the wrist, cross, and down. Doing your Kimura from north and south. His head is trapped in there. All right, so we started with side A. You sit out the modified scarf to clear the arm because he's trying to escape. I came back to side A, I go side B. This is where I'm preparing to make my move. His arm is here. I go around north to south, I start to trap the arm. Knees cinch up, grab that wrist, it's got nowhere to go. Grab my wrist, up and over. Just pull this in close and flex it. So that's the first sequence. The next one, after you've done that about 10 or 15 minutes, you're here again. Side A, modified scarf. Side B, reverse scarf, mount, posted mount. And then you got his arm wrapped. You're gonna loosen it, hook the arm, pull up on the elbow. Set your foot behind the elbow so my weight sits here, and I'm hooking the arm, and then I'm gonna step over and sit back. All right, and get the arm lock from there. I'm hooking it, I might get it here, or I might grab it with my hands at the wrist, squeezing. This is where you practice your squeezing and pressing down. At this point too, if you wanted to, you could put the pillow inside your legs and practice squeezing as you're getting the arm lock. Because this is the part where people often fail. They're too loose and the person pulls out. So you can practice that while you're here, or when you're hooking it behind your arm. You're squeezing and pressing down with your heels, turning your toes in toward each other. It's better form. Not a lot of people train the squeezing strength of their legs, but it's all over jiu-jitsu. You gotta have, these legs need to be like a vice, like a big pair of shark's jaws. They grab onto something and never let go. Now, we go back again and we're gonna do one more transition, the open transition from the mount. So we're here, side control A, modified scarf. Side A, side B, reverse scarf, step over to mount, and now he's turning on his own, and this is the right arm. He's pushing up or turning with it. I put my hand on his chest, my other hand coming around the arm, also on his chest. This is the classic, old school BJJ, what we call an open transition arm lock for the mount, because his shoulder's coming up. And I'm here, and what's gonna happen is I'm gonna float from here to here, and then I'm gonna shoulder roll, scramble to mount, and then do the same thing again, other side. I'm here, turns a little bit, it's here. I float, and then shoulder roll, scramble to mount, and repeat. Very good drill, both for scrambling, mobilizing on your knees, but also sitting back, rolling out of what would be an armbar transition from the mount. All right, so there you have it. Practice that today. Get better as a grappler. Stay healthy.